spite of an overwhelming amount of evidence that human activities play a part in global warming, there's still quite a few people who think that global warming is some sort of vast government conspiracy concocted by scientists. The goal of this so-called conspiracy remains unclear. There's still enough opposition to taking action on global warming that it's a major concern for those of us who care about the environment. The next few episodes of Bitchite Debunking will examine and debunk some of the more commonly heard arguments from climate science deniers. We're going to start with the idea of certainty about scientific data. Climate change deniers like to say that they won't be willing to do anything about it until they can be 100% sure that there's a man-made component to global warming. Does this argument have any weight? Well, let's use an analogy to illustrate it. Imagine you've gone to the doctor for your annual physical. She runs the usual tests, but when she comes back, she has some bad news for you. You have a lot of the symptoms of cancer. You then ask her, "Can you be 100% certain that I have cancer?" She tells you that she can't be certain without further testing and possibly exploratory surgery. She wants to refer you to an oncologist. You tell her that unless she can be 100% certain that you have cancer, you're not going to visit the oncologist, nor are you going to submit to further tests. Many politicians don't want to take action on global warming because they say that scientists cannot be 100% certain about human activities contributing to climate change. Yet with each new scientific study, we come closer and closer to the conclusion that human activities are playing a large part. Would any reputable scientist come out and say with 100% certainty that global warming is caused by human actions? No, because that's not how science works. This doesn't mean, however, that there's not an overwhelming amount of scientific evidence for climate change. The certainty factor is just a product of how science works. Scientists are not arrogant enough to assume that anything can be known with 100% accuracy. This does not, however, mean that a scientific probability is therefore false. Let's illustrate what I mean with an example here. Suppose I show you a pistol. The pistol appears to be in good working order and properly loaded. This doesn't mean, however, that the pistol is 100% guaranteed to fire. The firing mechanism could jam. The cartridge could misfire. A meteor might strike me before I could pull the trigger. There's any number of things that could prevent the pistol from firing. Since we can't be 100% certain that the pistol will fire, does that therefore mean that you would feel safe standing in front of me while I pointed at you and pulled the trigger? As more and more evidence on climate change comes in, it becomes more and more certain that human activities are playing a part. Global warming was first studied in 1886. Back then, we only had slide rules with which to crunch numbers. The supercomputers of today use climate modeling to make increasingly accurate predictions. One of the ways that we know these supercomputers work so much better than the slide rules of a century ago is that the predictions made by climate scientists become increasingly accurate over time as the process is refined. In short, while it's impossible to ever know anything with 100% certainty, climate scientists of today are rapidly approaching the 99.99999% certainty mark. And the news doesn't look good. The most recent IPCC climate change report indicates that we've already passed the point of no return on many measures, yet we keep on going as if nothing was wrong.